A few days ago in South B in Nairobi, a border delivery man was brutally murdered in an Airbnb. Now, I'm coming to you here as always to bring a word of balance to the currently ongoing online discussion as to why such a thing might have happened. Now, you see, Kenyan society, the last maybe 3 or so years, has fallen deeper down into the drain of wickedness and of evil. There is no doubt about that. Nonetheless, we need to be more careful to see, is it a trend that is ongoing? Should all border delivery people and others who have businesses that are keen to that one now start panicking and fear operating, doing their own businesses, or what is actually happening? Now, right here on the onset, I will say that my information is not privileged information in any way. Actually, I have gotten information from the internet, from news channels, Citizen TV and others, who have aired that piece of grisly news to us. So it's not like I'm not a police officer, and this is not even trying to be a prophet or anything like that. No, this is the 2 cents over dreadlock, if you like. Yeah. But hear me out and see whether my reasoning is making sense as to why that delivery man was so brutally murdered. Now, I'll just tell you here on the onset. In my thinking, there are two main reasons why I believe his name was Otieno, if I'm not wrong. You can put it in the comments and correct me. As I said, my information. Actually, even I wasn't going to come here, but the thought persisted so much at night. It actually denied me like almost an hour of sleep time. Just thinking about it. Why, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was watching that before I went to sleep. But I've thought, let me share here. There are two reasons in my thinking why that delivery man was so brutally murdered. The first one is that he was a victim of an occultic ritual. Yeah, he was a victim of occultic ritual. The second one is that he was a victim of an organized crime syndicate. Yeah, and now let's just look at the reasoning behind both of them. As always, I have my trusty notes here with me. Now, as for the occultic sacrifice, yeah, you see what has been reported in the news, that we are assuming he was a random victim. Yeah, that the people who asked for the delivery just picked, whoever was dispatching him just randomly picked whoever was available and dispatched him to the scene of his demise. Yeah, so we are assuming he was random in that sense. Yeah, of course the police will reveal more. DCI have whenever they want to do a good job without the interference of politics, their experts are much more capable and able to reveal more. So we are assuming he was a random victim, number one. Number two, when he was found, according to the news reports, his hands were chained. Yeah, his hands were bound together, and his mouth had been sealed so that he could not make, he could not scream. Then again, of course, there is the issue of his grisly murder. It appears, according to what I heard his brother saying, that they used a metal rod to clobber him with on the head, and things like that. So that was a most grisly way of taking out somebody. I don't think if there was a disagreement, maybe about the fees that was due to him, or the condition of the package that he had brought, that it would escalate to the point where somebody would pick a steel bar and clobber that person on the head to his death, while his hands are bound and his mouth is sealed. Yeah, it doesn't. It means this is more premeditated, more intentional in a sense. Yeah, that way. Then, of course, according to reports again, it appears that nothing was stolen. His motorbike was outside the Airbnb. I believe his phone was recovered. It doesn't appear, at least to my knowledge up to now, that anything was stolen from him. So why go to the extent of murdering him, not stealing anything? It doesn't add up to me. It attracts the notion that he was a victim of that occultic kind of sacrifice. But there are questions even to that theory. Yeah, there are questions. My first one, yeah, you see, why do that occultic sacrifice in an Airbnb in South B? Why? Yeah, you see the risk of undertaking such a thing in an Airbnb is much higher. Instead, they could have just, if the intention was to murder a man, why not patrol with your vehicle at night in some place where drunkards and the like, undocumented people pick up somebody, then take him to Karura Forest or some other place which is commonly mentioned with such kind of thing, and just clobber them there? Why involve the surveillance capacity of the Airbnb, including the possible risk that neighboring occupants in other units in that Airbnb would hear and or would observe and be able to report? Why risk that? Yeah, and my explanation to that is this: that either, if it was occultic at all, either the ritual was linked to the destination or even to the point of origin. You see, why do people partake in such things? One main reason would be that they are looking for more wealth. They want to grow richer. Yeah. So in that sense, I would think, and I'm not accusing anybody at all. Yeah. These are just my speculative ideas. If the reason why the murder had to be done in an Airbnb, it would either connect that most likely to the destination even more than the point of origin. Yeah, that the human blood had to be poured in the place of intended spiritual interference. Yeah, but I'm not excluding any other places, the point of origin, and such kind of things. Yeah. Then again, we have to consider who was in the neighboring units at the Airbnb. Who occupied them? Were they empty? Were there other occupants? Because in my thinking, if anyone Kenyan was deceived enough to go into occultism, and a demand was made upon them to make such a sacrifice, most regular Kenyans, we are not equipped emotionally, physically, mentally to undertake such kind of an activity. So you probably hire somebody, or some other lower priest of darkness would be assigned to you to help you undertake that. Therefore, that would mean, as they undertook it, you possibly would have to be close by. So we need to check, or the police at least have their work cut out. And I'm sure they are doing that. This is not an advice to the police. As I said, there are experts there at DCI. I need not advise them. This is trying to talk to the population to just bring reasoning to what we are seeing in our society. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure the police will be checking who are in the neighboring, who occupied at that time in the neighboring units. Yeah. Of course, the Airbnb, as we said, has surveillance capacity. I believe the last I checked about, renting a room in a hotel kind of setting, an Airbnb, they would need your identification details. Possibly they would retain, if it's a passport for foreigners, or an ID card, or at least they'll take a photocopy of that. They'd have your contacts, they would have quite a lot of information. Possibly there would be CCTV in that Airbnb, possibly even at the reception. So as you came to check in, and so on and so forth, then you would be recorded. Even your image would be captured there. Yeah. Again, I heard from the news that somebody was booking from Eldoret. You see, if it was occultic, why not just do it in Eldoret? What's the link with an Airbnb in Nairobi? Yeah. I'm sure investigators would be looking into the phone number that made the booking, even for the border person who was to pay, or who paid, what other, what is the connection. I'm sure Safaricom or Airtel or any other service provider would be able to provide a full history of that phone number, and investigators will go on checking who did they talk to, who have they ever talked to. Have they talked to maybe staff at the Airbnb, or staff at the point of origin from where the package came from? Have they even talked to the individual himself, previously? Is that number linked to other suspect gruesome disappearances and murders? And when I'm saying gruesome disappearances and murders, I am excluding the recent political kidnappings. Those ones are not mysterious at all. Yeah, those ones, but they'll be checking to see if there was some other occultic sacrifice, or unexplained murder, or disappearance of an individual, possibly even from Eldoret, that could be linked to that number, that kind of thing. Yeah. Now let's go to the second reason in my thinking that can explain why this delivery man was murdered like that. And that second reason, as I said, is that they are linked to organized crime. Now, in organized crime, there are still several avenues that investigators would be pursuing. Yeah, for example, is that person a rogue member of a crime gang somewhere, and they had decided to discipline him, or to take him out because of being rogue, walking away, or threatening to betray, or something like that. Is he, and I'm not trying to sling mud at the deceased. Yeah, he could have been a very law abiding, well-meaning citizen. We are just investigating the reasons around such a tragedy. Yeah, so it's not, this is not, I'm not accusing the deceased of anything, or even his family and friends of anything. We are just examining the reasons. So is he a member, or at least investigators would have to check, would he have been a member of a rival criminal gang? Yeah, maybe two gangs are vying for control, for superiority, or one is revenging against another for a previous loss. So could he have been a victim of a rival gang's revenge, on another criminal gang? Could he have been the victim of a clean up process? Yeah, you see, people, and this is an announcement to you who are willing to be compromised to take part in corrupt and evil criminal activities. Those people in your gang, they are not good. They don't love you. They are there for their perceived interests only. Yeah, and the minute they finish with that, you become useless to them. You become something that needs to be, you become trash. They need to clean you up. So could this delivery man have been, become useless, so that they need to clean him, to remove him from circulation, because possibly he knows too much. Yeah, he's not wrong, but he might have known too much, and now because they don't need him. For example, even in those political kidnappings, yeah, we need to be careful as Kenyans. Those actors there, when they become when they stop becoming an asset, yeah, when they become a liability to the owners of the gang, to the rulers of the gang, then there is the risk of you being cleaned out of the system, so that their information remains secret. Yeah, I'm battling with the sun. In case you see me trying to move the camera, it's the sun that is disturbing my life. Yeah. So anyway, those are some of the things. Then, other than that, did he have signs of association with the criminal world? Yeah, this is something investigators, even the family and the friends, close friends to the deceased, can check. Yeah, or even they may already know, is only that they have not put connections together. What am I saying? Connections to, or signs that could point to to his association one way or another with the criminal world. For example, if he was involved in drugs or in any other serious crime activity, who are his friends? Did he have suspect friends or associates? What of his history? How many times has he been arrested? Was he ever in jail for anything? Yeah, what was it? When was it? Yeah, why? Yeah, that kind of history. Yeah, so who does he like to hang out with? Yeah, if kama yeye ni mtu ya miraa, ye ukula na nani hizo miraa ama mugoka? Yeah, ye ukunywa na nani? Ye spend time yake, free time yake na nani? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, it will point, it will indicate, yeah, if there would have been such an association. Did he have unexplained income? Yeah, he's a border delivery man, but he appears to have unexplained income in the local joint where he lives or where he operates from. Yeye ndio ununua pombe. Yeah, yeye ndio ulipia watu pool. He's dressing. Yeah, he comes home and he's got he's bought clothing worth 100,000. And he's a border delivery man. Unexplained income. He's buying a shamba in Ngong or something. Yeah, a half acre, and he's building a stone house. How is he doing it? If from the kind of expected income from his publicly declared job. Yeah, so that's something that people ought to check. Yeah, did he have many girlfriends? And I'll talk about that. There's the love triangle that we need to explore. Yeah, again, I'm saying, I'm repeating, I'm not trying to mudsling here on the deceased. I'm just giving pointers so that the society may start thinking in that way, and his family even can assist investigators by pointing out some of those things, if at all they were there. Yeah. Where did he like hanging out at? Yeah, was he hanging out whether during work hours or free time? Was he hanging out at suspicious joints, suspicious locations, kwenye watu vuta bangi? That kind of thing. Yeah, where did he, even in an area, in your estate or in your village, wherever you stay, yeah, there are those suspicious joints where only people of suspect character would be attracted to. If you're, for example, a real pastor, a real man of God, would you be found in that kind of location? Yeah, this would be pointers again. Yeah. Uh, uh, did he have periods of unexplained disappearance? Possibly when he's gone on those criminal assignments or secret assignments for that matter. Yeah, he could have been recruited into some covert government operation. The Kenya government is not away from blame at all. Yeah, our experience of it since 2022. So did he have periods of unexplained disappearance? Anapotea 1 week anarudi na asemi kwenye alikuwa. There is no hakuwa nyumbani, and even family members, you will know, he will tell you he was there, but you, even without you investigating, in different conversations you find out he wasn't there, and you challenge him and he becomes angry, and he says you are accusing him of lying or things like that. Yeah, so check whether he had those unexplained disappearances. Finally, yeah, did he verbalize or demonstrate, express in any way a fear of undefined repercussions? Yeah, he anaogopa all of a sudden he was a happy, maybe a person who was going on with his life, then all of a sudden he's expressing how he fears to be kidnapped. Yeah, he doesn't want to go out after some hours. An unexplained fear, or even possibly an explained one. Yeah, kuna watu alibeba na anaona ni kama wanaweza mrudia. Yeah, half explanations, unclear explanations. Yeah, kuna parcel alideliver na huyo mtu alimthreaten. Unexplained, a properly explained fear of negative repercussions to his life. Those would be pointers. Yeah. I'm just reading my notes here, and I'm seeing I've said even if he was not a member of a criminal gang, could he have been an unexpected, undesired witness to another crime, a serious crime? Maybe he saw somebody else being murdered, being kidnapped. Maybe he saw monies from one high-ranking official changing hands to another. Maybe he was a witness to a rape or something, some crazy, some gang operation, drugs or something else. An unexpected witness in his duties as a delivery man. Yeah, and therefore maybe that has provoked the need to silence him. Yeah, in case he maybe he promised, he convinced, he got away some way from the scene then, but the people who were involved are not convinced that he will keep his mouth shut, and therefore they have decided to silence it for him. Yeah, so and then there's again the love triangle thing that I said. Could he have been a victim of the wrong guys? He was involved with the chick that is the woman of the wrong man. Yeah, wenye waguzangwi. Yeah, could that be the case? And there would be possibly there would even be a history, not necessarily, but there could be a history where he's involved with somebody's wife, or God forbid, things like that. That would be some reason. In my thinking, these are the main explanations as to why, while Nairobi, and not even Nairobi, Kenya continues to portray high levels of wickedness in almost every area and sector. I believe in this particular case, those are the two main reasons. As I said, there are world-class experts at DCI. They have their work cut out. Yeah, so let's pray for them. Let's also remember the family in this time of grief. May the God, or the creator of all creation, give them peace beyond understanding, even as they go through this dark season in their life. Till next video, shalom.